Alright, welcome back guys. Welcome to Sotahboy Settings. Today, well not today, the other day I shot with Joel in Iowa, and today I'm going to show you guys how I edit photos using only Lightroom. I'll show you how I start and then how I finish. This isn't my normal process. I usually use Photoshop, but today we're just going to focus on Lightroom, so let's just jump right into it. Alright, so like I said, we're jumping right into it. As of right now, this is where we were at. We're in Iowa. We're on Joel's property. She has a really nice farm area, so we'll start here. What I'm going to say is, like I said, I have a lot of my presets that I use myself, but these are presets that I'm currently selling on my website, so you're more than welcome to jump on there if you want to buy some. So what we're going to start with, I really like grain, especially for what I think I'm envisioning this picture to look like. So it's going to start with the natural light preset outdoor grain. Clearly, obviously, this isn't what the final picture is going to look like, but it's a great starting point, so let's just jump in. First thing I'm going to go ahead and start with is exposure. So clearly her face is kind of blown out, as well as this kind of outside area of her body. So let's kind of bring down the shadows a bit. But then let's also, the exposure, I'm just going to drop it down by 1, or by 0.10 the exposure. Going to go ahead and bring up some of these highlights, as well as, no, I'm going to kill the whites. Completely shut that down. Okay, so like I said, this is a very good starting point for myself. So because like I said, we're not using Photoshop for retouching, we're going to be able to do small amounts of retouching here just in Lightroom. So with that being said, I like to use my kind of quick tool. The shortcut is just the clicking Q, and we're going to go ahead and zoom on her face. Currently right now I have the visualize spots on. What that allows me to do is basically, if there's stuff that I can't see like kind of right away, or just by like looking at it, this kind of helps me take out blemishes that, like I said, I'm not able to spot right away. So for instance, let's go ahead and hit Q again, hit visualize spots. So like I said, these are some areas that we can just go ahead and clean up. But I always want to make sure that I am cleaning up some of the spots that are necessary. Like I said, I'm not going to clean up any beauty marks, anything that's kind of already permanently there, just blemishes and just a light amount of blemishes. I do apologize, my computer is so slow. Definitely need to upgrade it now that I'm going to be working from home. So let's take a look. And if you hit Z, it's going to pull out from wherever your starting point is. So for instance, if I'm here and I hit Z, it's going to go right back here. So that's what's nice, because like I said, because most photographers, when they're editing pictures, they're very zoomed in on the face. What I like to do is, like I said, back out a little bit so then I can see the whole picture overall. Okay, so this also helps, like I said, with fixing just this little small amount of clothing. There you go, unnoticeable. Zoom back out. Okay, let's take a look. And then just kind of just this area right here. Like I said, you're choosing, the only thing I don't like about Lightroom, because you kind of have to choose it for it. So it's choosing on where the sample is taking it from. So for that instance, you're actually in control of where it's going to be sampling from. I kind of like Photoshop because it kind of does it for you. But Lightroom's nice, so if, for instance, it takes something that you really didn't want it to sample from, or a certain area, you can be a little bit more particular about it. Let's see here. And honestly, I think everything else is fine. So that was just your standard blemish removal. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, the quick tool that I use is just hitting Q, and that pulls that up for you. You're also going to want to notice over here, I didn't really talk about it much, but in terms of your size, your feather, opacity, this is where you can control that. And it allows you to obviously use as much or as little as you want. Okay, so that was just standard, just blemish removal. So another tool that I like to use is my good old brush tool in Lightroom. Some people, honestly, when I did my first workshop, didn't even know that there was a brush tool, which is kind of crazy. So what I do is just hit K, and that's going to bring up my brush tool. For myself, for like my brush tool, I already have like presets of my own brushes, as well as Lightroom brings in some standard ones. So what I'm going to go ahead and start with is the soften skin. And I have it as light because I don't want too much. So this is what I would do in Photoshop, which is pretty much frequency separation to smooth out the skin. But I'm going to go ahead and do that in Lightroom. Like I said, we're not going to be doing anything in Photoshop today. And then if you hit O, it's going to show you exactly where you're brushing. And this is what I love. I do this in Lightroom or in Photoshop as well. I like to know exactly where I'm brushing, so I have total control of everything. So let's take a look. And what I like to do is kind of do the whole, basically in this scenario, I like to do just everything on the face, and then I come in and delete what I don't want softened. So that's usually like kind of like the eyebrows for myself. I don't like to soften that. And then I also don't like to soften the eyes. If anything, I like to sharpen that. Okay. And then the lips. So those are the things that stand out to me. So then I don't soften them because I want those to be as sharp as possible. So if you hit O, it's going to go ahead and bring it back. And that even might be a little too much. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring the texture back, which, okay, and the clarity brush I'm just going to bring down to like a 21. So there you go. Nothing too crazy, guys. I haven't even touched my temperatures yet. This is all just your standard basics in Lightroom. Okay? And what I'm doing for that is showing the before and after with the backslash. Okay? And so now let's get to my favorite part, which is the eyes. So what we're going to start with is some burning. So there's also a burn tool in the brush area. So what I like to do is I'd like to burn the eyebrows. Like I said, I'm sorry, my computer is so slow. You can probably hear it. It sounds like a tornado. Like I said, this will allow me to see where I'm drawing and where I shouldn't be, because like I said, it's lagging my Lightroom really heavily. You can hear it. I need to get that. It's the only thing I don't like about the MacBooks, because they're so small, they shove everything in there, and so it just makes everything hot, and you can hear it. So the fan is just blowing. So what I've done so far is I am burning around the eyes, as well as, like I said, eyelashes and eyebrows. So then I jump out of that burn, and I have another burn which is a little bit more darker than the one I just used, and I like to do that on just the pupils. Sorry, I had to delete the last one because it's being not very finicky. So there you go. And then now let's go ahead and grab my dodge tool, and I'm going to go ahead and dodge the white area around the eyes. Okay, and then I also have an iris. So this will allow me to adjust her eyes. Like I said, I have a setup for this in Photoshop, but we're only in Lightroom today. So this is what I'm going with. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead Z, so I know exactly what I'm working with, and get K. I feel like it's a little bit too much. So what we're going to go ahead and do then is just drop the exposure a little bit to about, I'd say, that should look good if it comes together. Oh no, too much. Like I said, come back, Z, and yeah, I like that. It's not too much, it's not too crazy, it's very subtle, and that's kind of what I'm going for at this moment with this picture. It's giving me kind of some, have you guys seen Smallville? Some Clark Kent vibes right now. Superman looks like, because, you know, Iowa, you know, you know, no, it's for my geeks. So anyways, I'm going to look at the temperature to see if I kind of want to bring it more cool, which I do not. I kind of like the warmth of this photo. So let's go ahead and just adjust a little bit. And like I said, it's acting very finicky. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to bring the highlights down a little bit with also bringing the shadows. Okay, so let's go ahead and drop that. tone curve. My tone curve is same for every single one of my photos because of my preset. I don't change that. I do micro adjustments if it's something that's crazy out of the way, but like I said, I don't change it overall for all my photos. Pretty much it's the same. So for this one, I'm just going to keep that the same. When it comes to my colors, now this is kind of a big one. Every single photo is different for me, so this is kind of where I shine in terms of what I like. So in terms of this photo, I know there's obviously a lot of yellow, so I'm going to take a look at how much I actually want to bring into the photo, as well as what the color I want it to be. So I used to not like yellows a lot, but now I don't mind them. And so let's do some adjusting. I think I like that there. Kind of go for that natural-esque. Not much blue going on, but it's still part of her sweater, you can tell, just the hues that are there. So I'm kind of just going to go ahead and pull that, because overall the picture doesn't have much blues. So I just pulled it, and then it brought the luminance up. As well as you can even change the hue of it. I don't see a point for that right now. As you can tell, it's not doing much adjusting here, is where it's showing. And now the greens, I usually do like kind of like a moody-esque, but I kind of want these ones to pop actually. So I'm going to kind of bring up the colors a little bit, as well as actually turn them into yellow, so then it kind of goes with what we're working with, it kind of like our vibe. Okay, so that's it when it comes to working with the colors. I'm satisfied with everything, because like I said, my preset already had these colors set in for me. So like I said, you're more than welcome to go down below, check out my preset, and you can use it for your photo as well. And so the last but not least, I also like to go ahead and see if I like it the other side. So if you want to flip your photo, the real quick thing to do in Lightroom is you go to photo, and then you flip horizontally. I like to do it just to see which side kind of looks better, and then just kind of do some takes from there. But honestly, I really like how this one looks, so I'm just going to keep it. So yeah, that was it when it comes to Lightroom. Honestly, that's all I do. There's not much else. It was a very simple photo from start to finish. That was my process with Lightroom. Obviously, not all photos are going to be that simple. This just happened to be a really nice one that I just happened to get down the settings the day of, as well as that preset worked very well for this photo. Like I said, you're more than welcome to go down below, check out my presets if you would like to purchase them, as well as go to my website and check any other of my work, as well as follow me on Instagram, and make sure to subscribe. Vlogs are coming this week. I'm trying to get the iPhone Pro. I thought I could get it today, but it's on back order till like October. But I will definitely get my hands on it so then I can do some portrait shots with that, and then show you guys how to handle that when you guys get yours. So if you have any questions, more than welcome to shoot me an email, send me a DM. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, let me know. Have a good one.